Hi, my name is Susan Alaimo, and I'm the founder and director of Collegebound Review. For the past 25 years, my Ivy League educated tutors and I have been preparing students for the PSAT, SAT, and ACT exam through small group courses and private one-on-one tutoring. Our 12-hour courses are held in person at both the Hillsborough Municipal Building and at Immaculata High School. At the first class of each course, students are given a copy of College Board's official SAT study guide that contains 8 actual exams that were recently administered over the last few years. So we work with actual exams so students are familiar with the exact type of problem that they will see on their test. Students are also given a copy of a strategy guide which I wrote. We focus on the strategies at each session of the course as we work through the different areas of the test. The students keep the strategy guide as it's a great tool to review in the weeks and days leading up to their test. Then what we do is we focus on one area of the exam at each class. At the first class, we focus on critical reading. That's the first area of the test. It's the longest section at 65 minutes. We work our way through 2 full-length actual exams in the course. So for the critical reading section, we first discuss the strategies and how students can maximize their score on this section. Then we work through 2 practice stories. We read the stories and work through the questions together so students see the type of questions they're going to have and the best way to work through the questions. Then students do a complete exam for the critical reading section. It's 65 minutes. They do it under time conditions, and then we review each question, which is the key part, discussing what the correct answer is and why, and how they could have found that answer in the passage. Students get a score for this section between 100 and 400 points. The second week of the course, we focus on section 2, which is called Writing and Language. It's a bad name for the section because there's not really any writing on the section. I call it the editing or grammar section, and I teach students the specific strategies they need to know to maximize their score on this section. For instance, there are 4 punctuation marks that we review. The semicolon is the key one. There's about 50 points on the PSAT and SAT exam that revolve around a student knowing the proper way to use a semicolon. We talk about tense, parallel sentence structure, proper vocabulary context. At the end of that section, we go through 2 full-length section 2 sections on 2 exams, and students get their actual score between 100 and 400 points. The scores for sections 1 and 2 get added together, and that gives them their evidence-based reading and writing score. During classes 3 and 4, we focus on math. Class 3 is math without a calculator, and we work through section 3 sections of the SAT exams. And class 4 is section 4, math with a calculator. And again, we go through 2 section 4s of 2 actual SAT exams. In the course, I teach students the strategies. I tell them what formulas they need to know for the math sections, what type of questions to expect. There's no pre-calc and there's no calculus on the SAT exam. There are very specific material that are covered in this test, so I focus on that with the students. For example, the hardest question on math is typically a trig question. It's almost always the same question. Students need to know that in trig, the sine of x equals the cosine of y in a right triangle. They typically give students a question, if you have a right triangle and the sine of x is, they recently said 0.6, what's the cosine of y? Again, it's 0.6. Students are frequently adding together 2 equations. There's a lot of Algebra 2 on the test. So I teach students how to work through the kind of questions and exactly what to expect on these 2 math sections. By the end of the course, students also have a math score for the test. Then they can add together their evidence-based reading and writing and their math score and get a total SAT score. I emphasize to students it's not really of concern what score they're getting in the class. The key is to make sure they understand the correct answer to each question and why, because they're going to see many similar questions. So by understanding their mistakes, when they see similar questions, and they will, they'll get it right on their actual test. I also teach students key information that they need to know, such as the fact that they should take the SAT several times. Many times students start taking the SAT before the PSAT. The PSAT is just a shortened version of the SAT, so they accomplish two coverages by taking the course. They prepare them for both the PSAT and the SAT exam. Students should take both, and especially take the SAT several times, because when they apply to college, colleges never know how many times they've taken the exam. So students literally log into their College Board account, pick and choose their highest score, and only submit their highest score. The SAT is marked on a curve, so students can actually get the same number of questions right on two different tests and get very different scores. So that's why, in order to maximize their scholarship money, as well as get into their top choice colleges, students should take the SAT several times. My tutors and I also offer private one-on-one tutoring. Again, we emphasize the strategies for each area of the test. We work through actual College Board material, previously administered SAT exams. We use a whiteboard to demonstrate each math question and guide students step by step through the entire process. I also guide a limited number of students through the entire college application process, identifying best fit colleges, helping students write impressive essays, and filing successful applications. I help students prepare a resume and make sure that they have worthwhile volunteer activities on their resume, or start getting involved early on in their high school years in such activities, help them identify a passion project, and do everything they need to do to really stand out to the most elite colleges. I'm a graduate of the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism, so writing is my passion, and I guide students through writing impressive essays for their college applications that are personalized to each particular college. If I can be of help to your student, please feel free to touch base. Our phone number is 908-369-5362, and our website is www.collegeboundreview.com. Please visit our website. You can download free of charge the strategy guide, which is on our website, and access a lot of very helpful information. If I can be of help to you or your child, I hope you'll touch base. Thank you.